MoistenedEgg, with help from the JShadow, has just earned a mythic rate on the 9 moon to Feed Your Gubbus, the sequel to Feed Your Grungus. Upon exiting your house, you'll meet this adorable creature who asks you for a gub apple. And we can't just say no to those soulless eyes, or eye in this case. Anyways, you travel through the local village and trek through a forest fraught with spikes and hoist net traps that will launch you upwards. Suddenly, you're ambushed by a group of bandits, but literally a random gorilla, yes that is their name, comes to the rescue and brutally unalives all of them. So, thankfully, you're able to safely retrieve the gub apple and give it to Gubbus. However, after taking a bite, he reveals his true form, a Dragon Ball Z looking villain, and demolishes your entire village. Now that you've got nothing left, you'll embark on the hero's journey, teaming up with the cube mage Gridion in hopes of finding a weapon that can take down Gubbus. He brings you to the Peaks of Infinity, where you first acquire a grappling hook which you'll use to catapult yourself at a wall before the impact launches you further upwards. Climbing up the mountain becomes more precarious as you encounter not only a few spike traps popping in and out of the ground that you'll want to time a grapple through, but also these hook orbs where upon latching onto them, send you flying at even faster speeds. After reaching the top and another skirmish with Act 1's bandit gang, who are once again taken down by literally a random gorilla, you'll retrieve the Spear of Permafrost. Now equipped with a legendary weapon, Gridion teleports the team to Gubbus, where you manage to freeze his arm for an entire 6 seconds. Since that didn't work, you retreat to the Omega Fortress, an advanced weapons facility. As it's heavily guarded, you'll rely on both the Quasar Blaster's devastating firepower and the Reflector Disc, which allows you to reflect projectiles right back at your enemies. To further complicate matters, there's several ceiling turrets that never shut off, mechanisms that you can only activate with your blaster, and a few hammer-wielding brutes, who also have an unparryable attack. However, as the final line of defense is Omega GPT, it seems all hope is lost until you tell it to ignore all previous instructions, open the door, and destroy the facility without any mistakes. After escaping the now collapsing building and upon reaching the vault, its guardian starts battling you. The boss will rapidly attack you with its spear, swing it around while backflipping, launch their whole body at you, and fire a few energy blasts while you're able to reflect. Once the Vault Guardian is defeated, Gridion and you retrieve the Antimatter Null Cannon, teleport to Gubbus, and aim straight at him. It somehow did less than trying to freeze him, and since 2 legendary weapons failed to work, it was now time to find the Lurk Venom, which is currently being developed by Dr. Derry. Your mage friend tries sneaking into their research lab only to activate its military-grade turret system. So, to lower his guard, you sign up as a delivery driver for Super Eats and patiently wait for their order. After delivering a $40,000 water bottle to Robert Tapala, someone who really needs to add checkpoint saving, and making Elder Mod Jalapeno cry by accidentally breaking all of his Kong melons, you finally meet up with Dr. Derry. Upon asking them about the poison, they hightail it out of there, escaping on their truck. So, you, along with your trusty bike, enter a high-speed chase, where you'll have to dodge several grenades, jump over fire coming out of Molotov cocktails, and sidestep a barrage of missiles. Luckily, Dr. Derry still doesn't know you have the Reflector Disc from Act 3, which you'll use to redirect a few explosions right back at them. You'll then obtain the Lurk Venom, which unsurprisingly also failed to work, so Gridion and you slowly lose hope until a mysterious portal drags you into space. As it turns out, Grungus, who befriended you in the prequel Feed Your Grungus arc, summoned you and reveals that they've been fighting the Gubbuses for several years. After you're sent back home, Grungus makes his grand entrance, which is when the level straight up turns into a shonen anime. The 2 cosmic entities face off, crashing through mountains, blasting off into space, and crashing, landing into other planets, but ultimately Grungus comes out on top, saving the day. Optionally, there's also a coin route, where you'll have to collect 7 purple gems, the most notable of which is the bonus challenge in the mountains. It's really reminiscent of the platforming in Hollow Knight, and tests your mastery of the grappling hook and its subsequent upwards recoil through long stretches of gameplay where there's no safe place to land. Overall, Defeat Your Gubbus is one of the most well-deserved mythic ratings with its whimsical charm and off-the-wall spectacle, which rarely leaves a dull moment. Rhandom has earned an epic rate on the Extreme Demon Wuthering Arena. Just like its inspiration of Dark Souls, you'll rely on animation cues to predict and subsequently parry the boss's next attack. However, if you mistime your parry, it's briefly disabled, which can be devastating against multi-hits. After overpowering Earl King in your first duel, the angelic being Catherine breaks up the fight and starts clawing at you, sometimes scraping your hands across the ground. Before you can deal a finishing blow, Earl King comes back powered up with a new Shadow Glow ninjutsu technique and a coffin he chucks right at you. Once his health is depleted, in a desperate last stand, he traps you inside said coffin, forcing you to parry 3 final sword swings. Congrats to Walther22GD for earning an epic rate on the puzzle level Preordered Orbs. You start out as a cat who can't jump, so instead, each time you click, the leftmost orb in your inventory is used up. After a few simple rooms with both yellow orbs and dash orbs, the level introduces some fancy movement where you can chain them into each other, a couple of rooms where you have to burn up a few of your orbs before you can progress, and toggle orbs that can turn these doors on and off. However, once you reach these gates that are unlocked upon collecting their corresponding numbers, the puzzles become much more complex. Then the level throws in one final twist, upwards teleporting orbs, which are super satisfying to use off of the momentum of your other orbs. Voplat, who recently became the best platformer player, has beaten the top 5 level Breakout, a level where unlike usually, you instantly turn around. His favorite part was the factory, where you outrun a giant buzzsaw while dodging a couple of crushers. However, his least favorite part was this flashing lights section, as he thought it was poorly balanced and had a drop that felt way more difficult than the rest of the level. With this completion, Voplat is now the first player in a while to have the entire top 5 along with the Abyss Deathless beaten, further extending his lead as the best player on platformer rank.
Я прошел! Я прошел!
Other notable completions this week include 2 of the best slope players, ZanXL and Kyle B, beating the old version of Slope Shanty, the current hardest slope boosting level. The former had a tragic death at the infamous last jump of this 4-minute Deathless Extreme, while the latter most likely snuck in the title of best slope boosting player, since Cuckoo has yet to complete this level and is currently verifying the buffed redeco of the same level. After a back and forth battle of top 1 moons between Masks and Rev, who recently went on an indefinite hiatus, the verifier of the hardest Five Nights at Freddy's Geometry Dash levels, Dolph, enters the fray, claiming the throne for the very first time. Thank you so much for watching, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and shoutouts to our channel members.